Okay, I took a little break, did all of my mirror dungeon, got something to eat. Now I'm full and ready to beat whatever this is going to be. And it's a shame, I took a very long break. It seems like it wasn't even enough to actually fill up the Ankyphilia bar completely. But maybe after the boss marathon of Hinley, Matt, Heatcliff, and Clock, whatever that is, maybe after that they're going to give us a couple of easier chapters, right? Maybe a couple books. I would love to see a couple books now. Just saying. Because I'm pretty sure this has to be a boss 15 turn. That can only mean boss fight. Okay. Oh no. I can't bring my... That might be an issue, but we'll see about that. Good that I have my Faust around. Actually, speaking Faust, you also need a couple of level ups. You are not quite 45 yet. And let's be serious, I don't want you to accidentally panic because of unfortunate accidents. Especially now that we bring Ishmael into this. Let's be serious, my girl is always a bit on the frail side. And I do kind of want her to take a couple hits in order to trigger her passives. I've been wondering about that. There were some very interesting loading screens while I was going through the mirror dungeon. Did I miss something? Did I perchance miss something? The researchers. We gotta run! Okay. Heatcliff, the Heartbroken. Our Heatcliff? With his back? I see distorted Heatcliff before me. He mouths, rips, and tears into everything before him. But his mournful howling is tingling with so much pain that it hurts me to even listen. He's killing everyone. The researchers, the dead rabbits, even people trapped in the glass pots. If we were to get in his way... Yes, executive manager. He will not hesitate to attack us as well. This will be a difficult battle for everyone. And it will leave nothing but deep gashes in our hearts. But even so, we have to bring him back. The clock turns. So she actually did it. She actually talked to freaking Carmen. Me, a thing lesser than a savage beast. Must I keep pretending probably to be human? Oh, Heatcliff. I can't read that. We kill something, and we don't deserve to live. Probably Catherine? It's been a while that nobody's singing the lines in the background. I keep hearing a voice in my head. Yep, it's Carmen. 100%. Oh my god, the music! It sounds like metal! It actually sounds like metal! Okay, let's see. Brushed wounds, a lot of bleed, 332, up to 8, okay. Broken heart, 442, clash win, gains defensive level up next turn, inflict defensive level down, plus bleed. Goes up to 10 again. Ruination, waning, and limitation, unclashable. Inflict fragile and gain 3 attack power next turn. That's not good. That's really not good. And then a counter that inflicts even more bleed. When this unit has a chain, all parts gain 1 attack power up, 2 damage up. When the chain is broken, start next turn, gain 2 bind, and plus 0.7 to all physical resistance until the end of the encounter. So you will get tankier, status. Chaotic Hunt, Clash Win. Gain Clash Power -1 for the next Clash, up to 2. Clash Lose, Clash Power +1 for the next Clash. So he's getting stronger if I win, and he's getting weaker if he wins. Then he's going to get even more damage up, of course. Of course, he needs to get stronger. It's the only right thing. Inflict 5 SP damage after attacks. Great. And he starts with 60% damage up, 2 attack power up. I see, okay, I see how this goes. Great, just great. At the very least, it seems like he doesn't really start with a strong... I forgot to change my Rodion. Oh my god. So, okay, now for real though, right? Now for real. I'm really sorry about that, Rodion. I almost forgot about you. Okay, he's pretty much doing the same as before, right? Yes. Relatively slow with 2. That's doable. My girls, they're really slow as well. That's not really that good for me, but it should be fine. As long as I win my clashes, I can make it easier for the others to win theirs. 11, 16, 13, and blocked. Okay, this is going to be a bit rough, because every one clash is going to make him stronger. What is it? Don't really see the buff effect. Maybe it doesn't really add the buff effect. Or maybe it works in reverse? But it said that every time he wins, he gets weaker, and every time he loses, he gets stronger, right? I'm confused. Nevertheless, I mean, distortions are always a bit weird, right? All things considered, distortions are always a bit weird. Okay. Anything new? Doesn't really seem like it. I still need 1 more envy coin for that. Okay. I'm really sorry, Honglu, you have to tank it out. There's literally nothing I can do in order to block that move. Absolutely nothing. And it seems like he's really getting weaker. Before he had like 4+, but now it's just 2. Which is good. Which is really, really good. Okay. I was able to win just fine. That's good. A couple of bleed stacks on the board. Okay, maybe the counter activates more often than I thought. Is the counter different? Not really. Why did he attack twice? When tossing an attack coin, takes fixer. That's bleed. That's just bleed. Technically speaking, I need to activate this one, and for that I need more wrath. But I also need to be prepared to go for my bleed boost, which requires more pride, even more lust, and a little bit more wrath. Okay, we can work with that. Come on, Grigor. This is the one time! This is the one time when you're not supposed to be drunk! But once again, it doesn't really work for Gregor. Okay, to be fair, it was a really difficult clash one to win. Right? It is a relatively difficult clash one to win. I have to give him that. At the very least, the only pro towards this fight is that he doesn't have kind of that weird 45 sanity gimmick like the other 3, right? Who literally, if you aren't careful, are constantly on max sanity. Anything new? Body sack on you. Space attack power +1 for every 5 bleed on target. And then +1 clash power for every negative effect on target. Then we have Feathering Woos, I'm not entirely sure what that is. Defense level down, defense level down, defense level down. If target has 8+ bleed, last coin deal extra damage. If the skill flips all head. If it flips all head, it does... Inflicts 2 fragile next turn. That's not good. How much damage is that? 4 coins times 3, 12, 14. +4, 16. And it goes towards Rodion. Great. Let's go for even more envy. I need to get a couple of envy stocks going. It's really important. Okay, Ishmael was able to win just fine. Oh, for goodness sake, what is up with you? Seriously, the entire weekend! You are messing up every clash! You're literally messing up every single clash! I know it's a bit rough, you probably drink in between the fights. I guess that's the only explanation that I have, that your idea is constantly drinking in between the fights, otherwise it just doesn't make sense. Ooh, that's a lot of damage, come on. Come on, Honglu, you got this. You got this. He has 40 minus defense. Charge applied. What is that? Feathering Woos. Under a certain condition, at +3 value at turn end, all parts become staggered next turn. Expires after the 3 fragile application or to the chain. How do I trigger that? How do you get that? Clash lose. Okay, so I need to make sure that you lose the body sack. I see. And you spam it now. Ah. Okay, this is gonna be fine. Oh, look, please. Get the body sacks. We need to stop the body sacks. I'm serious. If any of them gets through, Gregor is going to have a real problem around here. Just saying. Okay, the teleport comes around. Come on, Faust. Show me who's the real wolf around here. The real wolf with all the paralysis in the world. And charge. And freaking charge, because we have that as well. Okay, he has Woos +3. That should do the trick. Rodion, are you staggered? I can't quite tell. I don't know. Heatcliff, the Heartbroken, is shaking and stumbling. What is that fluid dripping from its mouth? Is it blood or tears of sorrow? This might be our chance to convey something to Heatcliff. With gloom, of course. And of course, our most emotionally strong character around here, Ryoshu, is certainly able to convince him to change his mind. Of course she is. She is very convincing with her bloody style. I approached Heatcliff with Ryoshu by my side. Heatcliff. I carefully try to talk to him, but he shrieks back as though he's afraid of something. Maybe my voice can't reach him. I ask Ryoshu to relay my words to Heatcliff. I can't emphasize with everything you've gone through. I haven't the experience, but I do know that these actions won't do anything to lessen your pain. Maybe the words had an effect on him. Heatcliff the Heartbroken withers and growls lightly, as though something inside hurts. I don't know if this helped him, or if all we did was pouring salt on his wound, but he's getting back up to his feet, and certain that this is far from over. Okay. Fragile is certainly going to be helpful to bind as well. On the other hand, he is kind of staggered. At the very least, it's going to apply that as well on the next turn, right? Surely it's going to be applied as well on the next turn. I mean, maybe it's finally going to put a stop to all of those, what's it called? Those untargetable attacks. If it could put a stop to that, it would certainly be really, really helpful. I'm just gonna hope that it actually works. We'll see. Either way, he's going to be slowed down for this turn and the next one. So if I need to break the sack afterwards, I can always do it. Never mind. I guess Faust was already strong enough to do so. That's good. What now? What changed? Lunacy of the Forensic Wolf. On use base power. Oh my god. +5 for everything. Maximum of 4. If the ally already has some kind of negative effect, increase it even further. If the target is subject of wrath, raises the unit's stagger threshold by 100 next turn. If this unit does not have a stagger threshold, create a new stagger threshold at 0. Okay. Defense level down, defense level down, defense level down. Do I want the subject of rage? Is that a thing? Become priority target for Heatcliff. When this unit is killed, this effect moves to a different subject. And you're going to apply that to 2 people. Okay. And the chain's broken. Random enemy. Start next turn. Prioritize the target. Oh! I have a feeling! I have a slight suspicion that it is actually my Rodion. The hero has been selected as your main target. Your first target. I see, I see. Well, we'll see about that. And I can make it even easier by applying even more envy into the whole mix. Okay, I need to get the envy ready. If I have enough envy, Faust is always able to use one of her egos. That's the thing. Right? That's the thing. I can either go for the teddy bear, or I can go for the wolf. Even though it seems like the wolf is probably the most effective one against him right now. Simply because I really rely on my paralysis. And I would really love it, Gregor, if you could give me paralysis or sinking. Well, it's something, right? It's certainly something. If you could give me paralysis, that would have been very great. Oh no. Okay, it's just fine. She didn't get staggered. Dominated. Let's go for the last resonance. We should have a higher chance of winning this. Paralysis is keeping it at bay. That's really good. Please give me power again. I would love to see some paralysis over here. Gregor, come on. Give me one good ailment. Not sinking. Why is it always sinking? What's up with you and sinking? Bleed would be handy as well. Maybe we could go for another bleed combo. I mean, it would certainly work wonders around here, right? It would certainly work out wonders around here. 13, 14, 17, 24. Okay, everything should be fine. She wasn't really lucky with the second hit, but she was able to prevail, so that's good. Come on. This could have been really good, especially since he comes with constant bind. I don't think it is high enough to actually trigger the effect, but still. In the next turn we have Slash Fragility, so we hopefully can make use of that. I'm not entirely sure if we're actually in range of the stagger bar just yet, but we're certainly getting there, right? We're certainly getting there. Okay. Yeah, just a tiny bit more. We are almost there. Just a tiny bit more, Heatcliff. Almost. We are almost there. I don't have enough pride in order to trigger it. That should be fine. Come on, Gregor. Roll high. Good job. Exactly what I wanted to see. Exactly what I wanted to see. The body is broken in 200 hits. He still has 600 more to go. The fairies are triggering as well. That's good. Oh, I clicked too much. Okay. He's hyperventilating and shaking his head wildly. It is a difficult sight to bear. The fluid pools and pools on the ground until it became a small puddle. I must now carry Heatcliff's sorrow. Who will accompany me? Well, of course, our hero. Our hero with a 25! Once again, I approached Heatcliff with Rodion by my side. Don't let that hatred consume you, Heatcliff. No, this isn't it. I have to say something that can actually reach into his heart. Everything changed. You, people, around you. It's not like the past. Not anymore. You can still change, and you have the capability to do so. There are those who can help you along the way too. I will turn the clock as many times as you need, until you can finally see the path you're meant to walk. I wonder if he can hear us. I just have to hope that the quiet crowd is a positive sign. But it's not quite done yet. Ah! She recovered some health. That's actually good. But then again, I guess Gregor kinda needed that. Okay, 500 more. 500 more. But preferably, I would love to have enough resources to trigger a red juice afterwards. But I have a feeling that it is not enough. Well, we will see. He's certainly going to survive this, right? His body had less health than his actual body, or rather his core. Okay, that's a good hit. 150. Overcharge is coming around. So 200? Or maybe 16? Just 16? So, if she catches you red-handed, Nelly might give us the super sleepy smack. Besides, the front gate has got to be closed and locked by now. Oh? This is... Now, ready? Ready for what? My Heatcliff! Didn't I tell you to pay attention when I speak? Ready to race from the top of the hill to the garden. I'll win this time. I'm sure of it. But, Cathys, you don't even have shoes. I suppose Nelly will have to lecture me about that then. It doesn't matter though. Oh, see that magnificent house over there? Why don't we head over there and peek through its window? I want to see who lives in such a big house. Isn't it dangerous? Cathys, we can't. Why not? Because if we go there now, they will spot us and seize their monstrous large hounds on us. One of them will bite your ankle. You won't scream, but you will bleed a lot. Enough to keep your wounds bandaged for weeks. I regretted it, day and night. And it should have been me who was molted in your place. And the people in that house will take you inside to dress your wounds. And there you will meet Linton. And how do you feel about that? Everyone was entranced the moment they saw you. Of course they were, because you are the most beautiful person in the world. But Heatcliff, you left me behind in that manner. My heart sank to its deepest depths. Then, instead of hitting rock bottom, I just kept sinking. Now that I think about it, I felt wretched, miserable. I was angry that you hurted your ankle. I hated that I wasn't a part of that push picture with you and the others. But more than anything, I felt that we could no longer be together. Ever again. That incident really threw Hindley's ire, so he ordered Nellie to completely neglect your care. I stayed in that manor for 5 weeks, growing closer to Linton and his little sister Isabella. It was the stay which eventually became the reason that you denied me for the first time. My life until this moment. They were the happiest times of my life. It was all that I ever wanted. But I must leave now, because this is but a diary of mine. You can't change the past. I still cherish this day. The day I could run so freely across the garden by your side. I did too, Heatcliff. That is why I wrote my diary, so that I will hold these memories to eternity's end. My most precious memories. What is going on? Did you just manifest? From the book? Or is this all in his head? Are you okay, Heatcliff? Does he look okay? He's literally scarred all over, covered in blood, absolutely destroyed. His eyes are dead, Dante. He's literally dead inside right now. Oh man. How are you feeling? Like shit. Miserable. These bodies, your wounds. I did that, didn't I? Heathcliff muttered, looking around at the mutilated, molded corpses of the researchers. Strange. I thought if I went wild, smashing everything to pieces, the weight in my heart would be lifted. But no, not this time. Not at all. This feels awful. How am I any different from that prick Hindley? I mean, technically speaking, you're not. You both kind of turned into some kind of fool thingy. Full of blind hatred against everything in front of me. Desiring nothing but destruction. But the worst thing is that I've wanted to be like that forever. Because I couldn't bear to simply sit there and do nothing. No, wait, you're not like him. Because you came back, right? True, you did come back. You're back in your home and farm. Everything's fine. I hope. This time, sure. But what if it happens again? Who's to say that there won't be a next time? Maybe Hindley, that prick, was right. I'm unsalvageable. Did I change? No, I deluded myself into believing that I did. Like the dullard that I am. This is what I do. What I am. A destroyer who brings ruin to everything until there isn't anything left to pulverate. If it happens again, I can't guarantee that I'll succeed. But I will try again. Oi, clockhead. You wouldn't know this, but, well, everyone but you would know. When I'm starting to lose my mind, when I'm completely blind and deafened, when I feel my sense of self, my very being, slowly fading away into the darkness, I heard that faint noise. That damn noise of a clock. It opened my eyes, dragged me back to reality. Well, that's because I'm your manager. Bringing you back to your path is what I do, right? Things became a lot clearer when I said it out loud. The sound of my clock awakened them, steering them back to their paths. I don't really know what their paths really are, or how they go about following them, but we are forging on anyways. Like feeling our way through a dark maze, learning its shape with every step that we take. This is actually a beautiful picture, even though it's kind of sad. Oh. And now, Isabella. Thank you for the book! Thank you, game, for the book! Thank you, I was about to say. Finally, they're giving me a break around here. Doesn't really change the fact that we are about to meet the sister of Linton. But still, they're actually giving us a break for once. After the marathon of boss fights. The marathon of boss fights. Hey, you guys want to come and take a look at that? Look at the corpse of the dead rabbit boss we have defeated earlier. This isn't Heatcliff from the other side or the other world. I don't think we've ever seen this person before. Oh, please don't tell me. Heavens, this is... I know her. Miss Isabella! How could this... Isabella? Isabella Edgar. Linton's younger sister! She came by this manor a few times along with Linton. They overrode Linton's sister? With a Heatcliff identity? It wasn't even real. We lost him. This technology they are using to summon identities. It's definitely a lot like ours. With the difference that it didn't completely override a different person. We don't mix identities. They are all using the identities that are directly linked to their own person. And we make damn sure that after the battle, all the memories are separated, right? That's a safety measure. Are they ignoring all the safety measures? There have been a total of 4 separate incidents of lightning strikes. True. Mesold was the first to break the silence. The most logical course of action from the perspective of our company would have been to wait until the Golden Barrow became available to us, just as Linton has suggested earlier. What? Hide in the barn and wait for the 7th strike of lightning? Like some kind of coward? What a helpful lot you are! Thank you kindly for your words of encouragement. You know what? We should have just done that from the start. It was foolish of me to even... Come on, calm down. Allow me to finish, Heatcliff. I'm beginning to feel the need to practice hastening my speech. We have experienced consistent escalation of risk merely by moving about the manor. Moreover, it is growing increasingly difficult to ensure Heatcliff's safety. Therefore, in conclusion, Mesold paused for a moment. I judge that we may have to stop the lightning from striking, even if that decision leads to our failure to obtaining the Golden Barrow. And how are we supposed to do that? Everyone felt silent, deep in thought about hearing Mesold's judgment. It wasn't a decision based on cold, hard fact that we had come to expect from him. Agreed. It never appeared that the lightning strikes were a result of natural phenomenon. It always struck at the most dramatic moments, always on a certain trigger, killing the manor's power without fail. Okay, let's think about this. Let's think about the circumstances surrounding each strike of lightning. First one was, yes, at the funeral, when they were reading Catherine's will. No, we can get a bit more specificer than that. It was when he'd called out Catherine's name. The second one was when Linton said something hurtful to Heatcliff. All that verbal abuse. The third one was when Hindley drew his last breath and... thus all is ruined. Linton's exhausted voice broke through our musing. He looked around at the destroyed laboratory, the corpses and the husk of the dead Spicatula. There was also a hollow look in his eyes. His face, already so sallow, had lost even more of its color. He stood tall. Linton's gaze lingered for a moment on his sister's mangled corpse before moving towards Catherine in the coffin. Isabella, my dearest sister. So this is how our reunion was to be. It felt like it was just yesterday that you've left our home without a word. didn't even write to each other? She did send me a few childish letters, that she would meet her fated partner, that she'd have found true love, but she couldn't possibly introduce me to this person, as I would surely refuse to give my blessing. You. Do you even understand what you've done? I merely followed the path laid before me. The lightning has struck 4 times. Yeah, we know that. We know how to count, you know? Executive Manager, I can tell from the way that the man is speaking that he may know the conditions that trigger the lightning strikes. Oda spoke plainly without even lowering his voice. Lightning strikes. Each strike of lightning is a blessing, for its significance that you have a place in her heart. Linton looked straight towards Heatcliff, and I could finally see his face clearly for the first time. He wore the expression of deep, bottomless pain. It didn't change the fact that Linton was still extremely suspicious and had quite a lot of things to answer for, but it began to sink in that he was also a man who was grieving for someone he loved. I lied to you, Heatcliff. Our marriage was never happy, but I've spent my entire life struggling to earn a place in her heart, knocking and knocking so that she would let me in. Yet there was nothing. She never once gave me an answer. Even now, she remained silent. Linton. Nothing. None of that justifies the atrocity that you have committed in this building. This abominable laboratory. I have given some thought as to how so many people could disappear without leaving a shred of evidence. It cannot be said that gangs kidnapped them by force, for there were no sign of resistance. There have also been cases of simultaneous disappearance. Sometimes even the entire family would disappear, all at once. You actually read the whole article? Then it can be reasoned that they weren't taken against their will. It would be more believable to say that they followed their own would-be kidnappers willingly. So you were responsible? Which means the kidnapper was also someone well-known. Someone with a decent reputation. What? Did you offer them a job at the manor? Promise to treat them to a nice meal or something? An experiment to produce a human, or so it was called. Yet I cannot imagine a single human being from who these heinous experimentations, all the sacrifice, the suffering, would have been worth it for. Master Linton, even if it was Miss Catherine who asked you to do this is too... What? Oh, wait, Catherine asked them to... Catherine? She asked you all to do this? No, that's impossible. Linton received the sinister deluge of resentful accusation with an unsteering expression. Yes, I will not deny that everything was by Catherine's request, but it was by my will that every one of her requests were carried out to the letter. I'm asking you why? The why never mattered to me, so I never asked her. All I ever cared about was endlessly endeavoring to carry out her wishes, to do as I was told. Yes, still, why? With this family's wealth, you could have just lived out the rest of your days in complete luxury with money to spare, so why? Should Teacup be made aware of what has transpired here? You may be subject to a high degree of punishment, even if your family's name were to mitigate it. You ask me why? Is it not obvious? Because I love Catherine. Ever since the moment I laid my eyes upon her, to this very day, I have spent every single moment of my life pinning for her. Just desperately begging for her affection? Blinded by your own obsessions? Speak ill of me as you will, I care not. because my joy comes from that morsel of affection that she spared me. So, you have no idea how much I envy you, Heatcliff. You envied me? You? Even in her youth, when I could come to spend time with Catherine at his manor, she would always ask me the same question. I wonder where Heatcliff has gone to. I wish he was here. Of course he must have been hiding from her, for you could not bear to see the sight of us. And believe it or not, it was not I who burned your letters. In truth, I would have delivered them to her myself, and I had my hands on your letters, because that was how desperate Catherine was waiting for your news. Once you left, Catherine, she shut herself off in a room, refusing to eat and withering away, gazing into a mirror day and night, until one day she calmly emerged from that very room and asked me for my hand. Mirror. She mentioned the same thing in the diary, that she saw herself in the mirror. Yet, we kept no mirrors at the manor that we lived. The mirror she looked into was, according to her, a gift. A gift from who? If you would like to know what she saw in that mirror, what it was that she saw that prompted her to ask me to marry, why don't you ask the diary yourself? Ask that old diary that remains in obstinate silence before me. The diary? Okay. We have a fight. We actually have a fight. Oh my god, and we have a bunch of them. We have a bunch of them. How much time do I have? Do I have time for this? Maybe, but I would be pushing it a little. It should be fine. It should be fine. It should be fine. If there are butlers around, I might be able to skip a little bit ahead. Right? If there are butlers around, I can always skip a little bit ahead. Okay. And again, should I have changed back to the She Association? Would have been handy, probably. That's fine. So, are you going to fight us? In your state? Oh, weren't we supposed to read the diary? If you seek to disturb this experiment, then it falls to me to stop you. What are you even looking to gain from this? By going this far? The same thing as always. I love Catherine, so I shall do as she wills me to, so that I may enter her room. I dare not wish to become a master of it. I merely wish that she would let me in. I wish that the sight of an open door, that little gesture, would be more than enough. The thunder of every lightning strike that struck the manor was the sound of her breaking heart. What? With every heartbreak, the lightning strikes, the pain, the reverence, the shock, are all manifesting as lightning, then darkness. Thus, the lightning only indicates that the person in question was so important to her. Heatcliff, I think, that he was right. Catherine is still alive. It wasn't exact science or anything like that, but I've been feeling that gaze coming from somewhere in that manor. Not an aggressive gaze, no, but it was certainly stubborn and lingering. So we are being watched the entire time? Butlers! Hello there! I can skip ahead a bit. Okay, already defeated, and there was no special enemy in this. I thought Linton wanted to fight us, but guess not. Huh. There isn't anyone left. I won't last much longer. This is how I was born. How I've lived my entire life. Yeah, glad to know that. So why don't you just... what? Admit my sins and surrender? Why would any of that ever matter to me? Linton looked up with a light expression as though a burden has been lifted from his shoulders. "This is as far as I will go." Then, with the gentlest voice, he began to speak to someone. His voice was overflowing with intense, fervent affection. "As I have always told you, I have no regrets. I merely think that we were both walking in different paces, and you always happened to walk ahead of me. Yet, even the sight of you from behind summoned butterflies in my stomach. This man will die without immediate and appropriated medical attention from a professional doctor. He is extremely weak. Still, Catherine, I wish my death would bring you even a trace of sorrow." Even before I first laid my eyes upon that child, Linton, he was watching me, unable to look away, even for a moment. That child is wealthy. He looked like the Prince Charming from the fairy tales of my childhood. And he loved me so much. See? His eyes glimmer with the very stars of the night sky with every second he lays them upon me. I love Linton, who loves me. His eyes that twinkle for no one else but me. His flaxen locks that flow for no one else but me. His radiant smile that flashed for no one else but me. Linton, who finds happiness from nothing else but me. When light returns to the manor, when I could finally see again, there stood Linton, wearing the brightest, happiest smile I have ever seen. The machines of the laboratory were linked to his body. What the hell is wrong with everyone? Why is everyone like that? Did you hear the thunder? Catherine wept for me. Oh, Catherine! Linton mustered every strength in his body and reached out towards Catherine's coffin. Wait, what are you? So now is the right moment to... Stop! I thought I saw tears of joy rolling down his cheeks, but... Huh? Huh? They were his flesh beginning to melt off his face. Even if you will not permit me into your chamber, it's all right. I will await you within the walls, forevermore. I don't understand. To bring forth the purest form of humanity that once existed was quite the simple task. Do you mean that goo form? That literal goo? You never had any talent in the culinary art, you saying, so you wouldn't understand. Any kind of identity could safely and securely be applied to it, as long as the dough is in its purest form. And what happened to Linton? Can't you see? He became a doll, a batter, a pure being free of dregs, so that it would always yield the finest results, regardless of what other ingredients you mix into it. Call that mess of flesh human? No, creation of a new human is but a stepping stone in that process. Their ultimate goal must have been to go even further beyond that dough. They seek to reach the very origin, the primordial human. This is but a part of that process, merely an experiment along the way. Oh, consider yourself fortunate that there aren't any other surviving researchers here, other than myself. If Director Herman or any other higher-ups heard what you just said, I'm sure they would have pulled all kinds of strings to take you in. Mother, damn it! I knew that woman would be... That dough. The being you refer to as human. I presume that one could apply any identity from any possibility, no matter how distant and irrelevant the world to that being. Yes, he's saying, I know that you would be more overjoyed to hear of such a breakthrough. This is the apex of what the mirror technology is capable of. Now all we have left to do is leap from that apex to soar beyond its limits. From what we know, there's another golden barrow located inside of the manor. This, though, is a part of an experiment that can be conducted only with the preposterous magnitude of energy output. So the golden barrow, to accumulate that much energy, must be located on the rooftop of this manor. Oh. Correct. The golden barrow acts as a lightning rod, drawing the merciless strikes of lightning, then harnessed it into a form of energy for itself. Your breadth of knowledge is starting to get a little bit unsettling. Well, now that everything is in order, I must really make my exit. Not so fast! I'll get you and find out everything you know about my mother's plan! And there he goes. Please, let's not waste each other's time by playing this pointless game of cat and mouse. When the perfected identity is applied over the dough, one such opaque, murky mist emerges. What a picturesque moment, most apt to bid you all farewell, is it not? Director Herman's son, was it? I heard that you were a veteran of the Smoke War. Then perhaps this may be a familiar sight to you. It's a tad different in a few places. And he sang, my dear fella, live so that I have something to look forward to in the future that I have left. What the hell? He wanted to become cool? Gregor is the MVP? The world is weird. The entire freaking world is weird. I think I need a break now. I totally need a break now. At this point of time, I'm literally 2 weeks ahead now. I need a break. I hope you guys had fun, even though it's a bit chaotic and a lot to process all at once. Like, what is up with Cathys? Why would she want all of this? Huh? Why the heck would she want all of this? And that speech, the Linton that only smiles for me, sparkles for me. I don't understand. And we will save that for next week. Yeah, we're gonna save that for next week. I hope you guys had fun, and see you later. Bye bye.